The alarm bells rang through the deep space monitoring station on Mars. Lieutenant Danny Price jumped from his chair and ran to the main console. The screen showed signals coming from far away in space. These were not normal signals. "Commander Morrison, you need to see this right now," Danny called out. His voice shook with excitement and fear. Jake Morrison walked quickly to the communication center. He was tall and strong, with gray hair and serious eyes. Jake had been watching space signals for 20 years. He had never seen anything like this before. "What do we have, Danny?" Jake asked. He looked at the bright lights flashing on the screen. "Sir, this signal came from the Kepler 442 system. It's about 40 light-years away from Earth. The signal is not from humans." "It's from aliens," Danny said. Jake felt his heart beat faster. First contact with aliens was something every human dreamed about. But this signal felt different. It felt wrong. "Can you understand what they are saying?" Jake asked. "Not yet, sir. But I called Lisa Park. She knows alien languages better than anyone." "She should be here soon," Danny replied. Lisa Park ran into the room 5 minutes later. She was a small woman with dark hair and bright eyes. Lisa had studied alien languages for her whole life, even though humans had never met real aliens before. She had learned by studying old signals from space. "Show me what you found," Lisa said. She sat down at the computer and started working. The alien signal played through the speakers. It sounded like music mixed with strange noises. The sounds were beautiful but also sad. Lisa listened carefully and typed on her computer. "This is amazing," Lisa said. "They are using math and pictures to talk?" "I can understand some of it." Jake watched Lisa work. Her fingers moved fast on the keyboard. Numbers and symbols filled the screen. Slowly, words in English appeared. "They call themselves the Villani," Lisa said. "They are asking for help. Something terrible is happening to them." "What kind of help?" Jake asked. Lisa kept working. More words appeared on the screen. Her face became pale as she read them. "Sir, they are being attacked. Something called the Hive Collective is destroying their world. They say billions of their people are dying," Lisa said. Jake felt cold. War was something humans knew well, but this was different. This was aliens asking humans for help. "Keep working, Lisa. I need to know everything," Jake said. He walked to another computer and started calling Earth Defense Command. Admiral Ben Carter answered the call from his office on Earth. Ben was an old soldier with many scars from old battles. He had fought in wars across the solar system. The alien wars were new to him. "Jake, what's so important that you're calling me at midnight?" Ben asked. "Sir, we have a situation. Aliens are asking for help. They are being attacked by something called the Hive Collective." "It sounds bad," Jake said. Ben sat up in his chair. "Are you sure about this, Jake? This could change everything." "I'm sure, sir. Lisa Park is translating their message now. They say their whole world is being destroyed. Send me everything you have. I'll call the President and the Defense Council." "This is bigger than both of us," Ben said. Back at the monitoring station, Lisa had translated more of the alien message. The story was getting worse. "Jake, you need to hear this," Lisa said. "The Villani say the Hive Collective has already destroyed 17 worlds. They eat everything living and turn it into more of themselves." "How many Villani are left?" Jake asked. "About 3 billion on their home world. But the Hive is already there. They say they have maybe 3 days before everyone is dead," Lisa said. Jake felt sick. 3 billion people were going to die, and they were asking humans for help. But how could humans help? The Villani were 40 light-years away. It would take months to get there with normal ships. "Lisa, ask them about their attackers. What do these hive things look like? How do they fight?" Jake said. Lisa sent a message back to the Villani. The answer came quickly. "They say the hive ships are huge. They look like they are alive, but also like machines. The hive doesn't talk or make deals. They just eat everything and make more of themselves," Lisa said. "What about weapons? How do the hive fight?" Jake asked. "The Villani say normal weapons don't work well. The hive ships fix themselves when they get hurt. They also send small things. That get inside other ships and change the people into hive creatures, Lisa said. Jake thought about this. The hive sounded like something from a nightmare. But humans had fought nightmares before, Admiral Ben Carter called back an hour later. Jake, I've talked to everyone who matters. The president wants to help. The Defense Council is meeting now. But we need to know more about these aliens and their enemies. What do you want to know, sir? Jake asked. Everything. Are the Villani telling the truth? Is this some kind of trick? And can we actually help them? Ben said. Jake looked at Lisa. She was still working on the alien message. Lisa, can you tell if the Villani are lying about anything? Lisa shook her head. I don't think so, Jake. Their message has too much fear in it. Real fear. They are really dying. More messages came from the Villani. They sent pictures of their world burning. They sent videos of the hive ships eating their cities. They sent the names of their children who had already died. Sir, I think they are telling the truth. These people are about to die, and we might be the only ones who can help them, Jake told Admiral Carter. All right, Jake, I'm sending Captain Rodriguez and her team to your station. We need to know everything about this situation. And Jake? Yes, sir? Start thinking about how we can get our ships to the Kepler 442 system fast. If we're going to help these people, we need to move quickly. Admiral Carter said. Captain Amy Rodriguez arrived at the Mars station 6 hours later. She brought a team of military experts and scientists. Amy was known for being smart and tough. She had led human forces in battles across the solar system. Show me what we know, Amy said to Jake. They spent the next 4 hours going through everything. The Villani messages, the pictures of their dying world, the videos of the Hive Collective destroying everything they touched. This is bad, Amy said. The Hive sounds like they have never lost a battle. They just keep winning and getting stronger. Can we beat them? Jake asked. Amy smiled. It was not a nice smile. Jake, humans have been fighting impossible battles for thousands of years. We always find a way. Danny Price ran into the room with a new message from the Villani. Sir, they are asking if we are coming to help. They say they don't have much time left. Amy looked at the message. Then she looked at Jake. Tell them yes. Tell them humans are coming. And tell them to hold on. Jake watched Amy make her calls. Soon, human ships across the solar system were getting ready for war. The Third Expeditionary Fleet was being called together. Soldiers were saying goodbye to their families. Engineers were loading weapons and supplies. The Villani had asked for help from a species they had never met. They had no idea what humans were like. They did not know that humans came from a world so dangerous that it had made them into the toughest fighters in the galaxy. The Hive Collective was about to learn what happened when they threatened someone under human protection. The U's Vanguard was the biggest ship in the Third Expeditionary Fleet. Colonel Ryan Hayes stood in the main hangar, watching his Marines get ready for battle. These were not ordinary soldiers. They were the best fighters humanity had ever trained. Listen. Up, Marines, Ryan called out. His voice was loud and strong. We're going to fight something that has never lost a battle. Something that has eaten 17 worlds and killed billions of aliens. The Marines looked at their colonel. They were not scared. They were excited. Fighting impossible battles was what humans did best. Sir, what do we know about these hive things? Asked Sergeant Pete Morgan. He was a big man with scars on his face from old battles. They're part machine, part living creature. They can fix themselves when we hurt them. They also try to get inside our ships and change us into more of them, Ryan said. The Marines laughed. They had heard this before. Every enemy thought they could beat humans by being scary. Sir, have they ever fought humans before? Asked Corporal Lucy Davis. She was small but tough, with quick hands and sharp eyes. No, Lucy, we're going to be their first taste of what happens when you mess with people from a death world. Ryan said. On the bridge of the UES Thunderbolt, Captain Amy Rodriguez studied the star maps. The Kepler 442 system was 40 light years away. With their fastest ships, it would take 30 hours to get there. That might be too long. Can we go faster? Amy asked her chief engineer. Captain, if we push the engines harder, we might break them. But we can try, said Lieutenant Kevin Walsh. He was young but smart, and he knew the ship's engines better than anyone. Do it. Those aliens don't have time for us to be careful, Amy said. Kevin ran to the engine room. He started changing the settings on the faster-than-light drive. This was dangerous. If something went wrong, the ship could explode or get lost in space forever. Dr. Kate Williams worked in her laboratory on the UES Intrepid. She was trying to understand the Hive Collective. The aliens had sent pictures and videos of their enemies. Kate studied every detail. They're not just machines, and they're not just living things, Kate said to her assistant. They're something new, something that takes the best parts of both. Is that bad, Doctor? Asked her assistant, a young man named Tony Clark. It's very bad, Tony. Living things can grow and change. Machines can be fixed and made better. These hive creatures can do both, Kate said. Kate looked at the pictures again. The hive ships were huge and dark. They had parts that looked grown like trees or bones. They also had parts that looked built like metal and circuits. But they have never fought humans before. They don't know what we're like, Kate said. Commander Nick Torres stood in the command center of the UES Defiant. His job was to make sure all 12 ships in the fleet worked together. This was harder than it sounded. Ship status report, Nick called out. Use Vanguard, ready for battle, came the first reply. UES Thunderbolt, engines at maximum power, came the second. UES Intrepid, all systems working, came the third. One by one, all 12 ships reported they were ready. Nick felt proud. In less than 2 days, humanity had put together a fleet that could cross the galaxy and fight a war. All ships, this. Is Admiral Carter? Came a voice over the radio. We're about to leave our solar system to help people we've never met fight an enemy we've never seen. This is what makes us human. The fleet left Earth's solar system together. 12 ships filled with weapons, soldiers, and supplies. They moved faster than any human ships had ever moved before. The engines burned bright in the darkness of space. On the UES Retribution, Captain Sam Johnson talked to his crew. We're going to a place where billions of people are dying. We're going to fight monsters that eat whole worlds. Does anyone want to go home? Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. They were all volunteers. They had all chosen to risk their lives for strangers. Good, then let's go save some aliens, Sam said. The trip to Kepler 442 took 36 hours. During that time, the humans got ready for war. They cleaned their weapons and checked their armor. They studied the enemy and planned their attack. Ryan Hayes trained his Marines in the ship's gym. They practiced fighting in small spaces. They practiced fighting enemies that could change shape. They practiced fighting when they were hurt and tired. Remember, these hive things are used to fighting people from nice, safe worlds, Ryan told his troops. They've never fought someone from Earth. They don't know what we're capable of. Marine Janet Brooks raised her hand. Sir, what if they're too strong for us? Ryan smiled. Janet, humans have been fighting things that were too strong. For us, since we lived in caves, we always find a way to win. Kate Williams worked on weapons that could hurt the hive creatures. Normal bullets and lasers might not work well. She needed something better. What if we use fire? Kate asked to Tony. Living things don't like fire, but they're also part machine, Doctor. Fire might not hurt the machine parts, Tony said. Kate thought about this. Then we need weapons that can hurt both living things and machines. Something that can break them apart completely. She started working on new kinds of bullets. These bullets would explode inside the target, breaking both the living parts and the machine parts. Nick Torres got reports from Earth. More ships were being built. More soldiers were being trained. If this battle went badly, humanity would be ready for the next one. Sir, why are we helping these Villani people? Asked Lieutenant Beth Carter. She was young and new to space combat. Because they asked for help, Beth. And because if we don't stop the hive here, they might come to Earth next, Nick said. Amy Rodriguez studied the messages from the Villani. The aliens were scared and confused. They had never seen a military response like this before. Most species just ran away when the hive came. Captain, the Villani are asking if we're really coming to fight. said her communications officer. Tell them yes. Tell them humans don't abandon people who need help. Amy sighed. The Villani sent back a message full of thanks and wonder. They could not believe that strangers would risk their lives for them. As the human fleet got closer to Kepler 442, they started picking up new signals. These were not from the Villani. These were from the Hive Collective. What are they saying? Amy asked Lisa Park, who was now on her ship. Lisa listened to the strange sounds. They're not talking to us, Captain. They're talking to each other. It sounds like they're surprised. Surprised about what? Amy asked. I think they're surprised that someone is coming to fight them. This has never happened before, Lisa said. Admiral Ben Carter spoke to all the ships from his command center on Earth. Fleet, you are about to enter combat with an enemy that has never been defeated. Remember, they have never fought humans before either. Show them what people from Earth can do. The fleet dropped out of faster-than-light speed at the edge of the Kepler 442 system. What they saw made even the bravest soldiers feel cold. The Villani homeworld was covered in green light. Huge hive ships, each one the size of a small moon, floated around the planet. Smaller ships swarmed everywhere like angry insects. My God, whispered Sam Johnson. There are hundreds of them. All ships, battle stations, ordered Amy Rodriguez. Let's show these things what happens when they mess with our friends. The human fleet moved forward into the system. Behind them, space was empty. Ahead of them, the largest space battle in human history was about to begin. The Hive Collective had eaten 17 worlds. They had killed billions of aliens. They had never lost a battle, but they had never fought humans before. They were about to learn why Earth was called a death world, and why humans were the most dangerous species in the galaxy. The human fleet floated at the edge of the Kepler 442 system. Captain Amy Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the UES Thunderbolt, looking at the terrible sight before them. The Villani homeworld was dying. Communications, try to contact the Villani fleet, Amy ordered. Lieutenant Mark Thompson worked at his station. Captain, I'm picking up Villani signals. They're hiding behind the fourth moon of their homeworld. On the main screen, Amy could see the Villani ships. They were beautiful, with smooth curves and bright colors, but they looked small and weak compared to the dark hive ships that surrounded the planet. This is Captain Amy Rodriguez of the Human Third Expeditionary Fleet, Villani ships. Please respond, Amy said into her microphone. A voice came back through the speakers. It was translated by computer, but Amy could hear the fear in it. Human ships, this is Commander Zeph of the Villani Defense Force. You came. We did not think anyone would come. Amy felt sad hearing the alien's voice. Commander Zeph, we received your distress call. We are here to help. What is your situation? Terrible. Captain Rodriguez? The Hive has been attacking our world for 6 days. We have lost most of our fleet. Most of our cities are gone. We estimate 3 days before all Villani are dead or changed into hive creatures. Amy looked at her tactical officer. How many hive ships do you count? Over 300, Captain. Plus those huge constructor ships around the planet. They're turning the planet's surface into more hive creatures, came the reply. Commander Zeph continued talking. Captain, your 12 ships are brave to come here. But the hive is too strong. You should leave before they destroy you too. Hey, smiled. It was not a happy smile. Commander, we humans have a saying, we don't leave friends behind. Send us all your tactical data. We need to know how these hive things fight. On the U's Vanguard, Colonel Ryan Hayes watched the enemy ships through his telescopes. The hive vessels were ugly things, dark and twisted. They moved like living animals, but they were clearly machines too. Sir, I count 12 different types. Of hive ships? Reported Sergeant Pete Morgan. Small fighters, medium destroyers, and those huge constructor ships. What about weapons? Ryan asked. The Villani data shows they use some kind of bioenergy beams. They also launch pods that try to get inside enemy ships, Pete said. Ryan thought about this. Bioenergy beams are just fancy lasers. We can handle lasers, and if they want to board our ships, they're welcome to try. Dr. Kate Williams studied the hive ships from her laboratory on the UES Intrepid. The creatures were amazing and terrifying at the same time. They had somehow mixed living tissue with advanced technology. "Tony, look at this," Kate said to her assistant. "The hive ships can repair themselves. When they get damaged, new tissue grows to fix the holes." "How do we fight something that can fix itself?" Tony asked. "We hurt them faster than they can." "Heal," Kate said. "Or we hurt them so badly that they can't heal at all." Admiral Ben Carter's voice came over the fleet radio from Earth. "All ships, I'm getting reports from the Galactic Council. The Hive Collective has destroyed 17 star systems. No species has ever successfully fought them." Captain Sam Johnson of the UES Retribution laughed. "Well, Admiral, no species has ever had humans helping them before." Commander Nick Torres coordinated the fleet's movement into the system. "All ships maintain formation. We're going to get as close as we can before they notice us." But the Hive had already noticed them. The dark ships began turning toward the human fleet. Lights appeared on their hulls as weapons charged. "Captain Rodriguez, the Hive ships are moving," reported Commander Zeff. "They're coming toward you. There are over 50 ships in the first wave." Amy looked at her crew. They were all ready for battle. "All ships, this is Rodriguez. Remember, we're not just fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for 3 billion Villani who can't fight back." The first Hive ships were fast. They moved through space like sharks swimming through water. Their bioenergy weapons began firing at the human fleet. "Shields up. Return fire," Amy ordered. The human ship's weapons were different from anything in the galaxy. While other species used clean energy beams, humans used kinetic weapons. Bullets and missiles that could punch through armor and explode inside enemy ships. The first exchange of fire was shocking. The Hive ships had never faced weapons like the humans used. Their bioenergy beams hit the human shields and were absorbed. But the human bullets and missiles tore through Hive armor like paper. "Direct hit on the lead Hive ship," reported the weapons officer on the UES Defiant. "It's breaking apart." Commander Zeff's voice came over the radio. "Incredible. Your weapons are destroying them. How is this possible?" "Commander, we come from a world where everything tries to kill everything else. We've learned to build very good weapons," Amy replied. But the Hive was learning too. The damaged ships began to change. Their armor became thicker. Their weapons became more powerful. They were adapting to the human attack. "Captain, the Hive ships are changing their tactics," reported Lieutenant Mark Thompson. "They're spreading out and trying to surround us?" Amy looked at the tactical display. The Hive ships moved in perfect coordination, like they were all controlled by one mind. "All ships, prepare for close combat." "They want to get personal." The battle became more intense. More Hive ships joined the fight. The human fleet was outnumbered 20-1, but they kept fighting. Human weapons were designed to kill other humans, the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Against the Hive, they were devastatingly effective on the UES Vanguard. Ryan Hayes watched the battle through his ship's cameras. "Look at that, Marines. The Hive ships are trying to ram us. They think they can win by crashing into us." "Sir, our shields are holding," reported Sergeant Pete Morgan. "But they're getting weaker. Then we'll have to finish this fight before they fail," Ryan said. Dr. Kate Williams made an important discovery. "Captain Rodriguez, I've been studying the Hive ships. They're all connected to each other. They share one mind." "What does that mean, Doctor?" Amy asked. "It means if we can disrupt their connection, they'll become confused. They won't be able to work together anymore," Kate said. "How do we disrupt their connection?" Amy asked. "We need to destroy the command ship. It's the biggest one, near the planet. If we can kill it, the other ships will lose their coordination," Kate said. Amy looked at the massive Hive command ship. It was the size of a small moon, covered in weapons and armor. "All ships, new target. We're going after the big one." Commander Zeff's voice came over the radio again. "Captain Rodriguez, that ship is too big. Your weapons cannot hurt it." "Commander, you're about to see something that no other species in the galaxy has ever seen," Amy said. You're about to see humans do the impossible. The human fleet regrouped and began moving toward the command ship. Behind them, they left a trail of destroyed hive vessels. The aliens had been right about one thing. The Hive Collective had never lost a battle, but they had never fought humans before. The command ship began firing at the approaching human fleet. Its weapons were massive, throwing beams of energy that could destroy a city. But the human ships kept coming. All ships, concentrate fire on the command ship's main weapon, Amy ordered. Let's show these things what happens when they threaten our friends. The 12 human ships unleashed everything they had. Missiles, bullets, and energy beams all focused on one target. The command ship's armor was thick, but human weapons were designed to penetrate any defense. The Hive Collective was about to learn why humans were called the most dangerous species in the galaxy. They were about to learn why Earth was called a death world. And they were about to learn what happened when you threatened someone under human protection. The Hive command ship was huge and covered in weapons. It fired massive energy beams at the human fleet. The beams were so powerful they could melt metal and turn rock into gas. But the human ships kept moving forward. Direct hit on the UES Retribution, reported the communications officer. They're damaged but still fighting. Captain Sam Johnson's voice came over the radio from his damaged ship. This is Retribution. We're hurt but not dead. Keep firing at that big ugly thing. The human fleet spread out around the command ship. Each ship fired everything it had. Missiles streaked through space like angry stars. Bullets moved so fast they became invisible. Energy beams cut through the darkness, but the command ship was not the only problem. Smaller hive ships swarmed around the human fleet like angry insects. They fired their bioenergy weapons and launched boarding pods at the human vessels. Captain Rodriguez, we have incoming boarding pods, reported Lieutenant Mark Thompson on the UES Thunderbolt. They're trying to get inside our ship. Amy Rodriguez smiled. Let them come. They've never tried to board a human ship before. The boarding pods were like living bullets. They crashed into the sides of human ships and burned through the metal walls. Inside each pod were hive creatures that looked like a nightmare mix of machine and monster. On the UES Vanguard, Colonel Ryan Hayes heard the crash as 3 boarding pods hit his ship. Alarms rang throughout the vessel. Red lights flashed in the corridors. All Marines, we have uninvited guests, Ryan announced over the ship's speakers. Show them how we treat people who come to our house without permission. The hive creatures that came out of the pods were terrible to look at. They had metal arms with sharp claws. Their heads were part skull and part computer. Green liquid dripped from their mouths, but Ryan's Marines were ready for them. They wore heavy armor and carried weapons designed to kill the most dangerous enemy in the galaxy, other humans. Against the hive creatures, these weapons were devastatingly effective. Sergeant Pete Morgan led his squad through the ship's corridors. They moved like hunters tracking dangerous prey. When they found the first hive creatures, the battle was quick and violent. Contact. 3 hostiles in Section 7, Pete reported into his radio. The hive creatures had never fought anything like human Marines. They were used to fighting aliens from peaceful worlds. They were not prepared for soldiers from a planet where everything tried to kill everything else. Pete's squad opened fire with their assault rifles. The bullets tore through the hive creature's armor like it was made of paper. The creatures tried to fight back, but human armor was designed to stop weapons much more powerful than theirs. Hostiles down. Moving to Section 8, Pete reported. The same scene played out all over the human fleet. Hive creatures boarded the ships expecting easy victories. Instead, they found themselves fighting the most dangerous predators in the galaxy. On the UES Intrepid, Dr. Kate Williams watched the battle through her laboratory's cameras. The hive creatures moved fast and hit hard, but the human Marines moved faster and hit harder. Tony, are you seeing this? Kate asked her assistant. Yes, Doctor. The hive creatures can't adapt fast enough to fight our Marines, Tony replied. Kate made notes on her computer. They're used to fighting species that run away or surrender. They don't know how to fight something that gets more dangerous when it's cornered. Marine Corporal Lucy Davis fought 3 hive creatures in the ship's engine room. She was small compared to the monsters, but she was faster and smarter. When one creature swung its metal claws at her, she ducked and shot it in the head. When another tried to grab her, she rolled away and put a grenade in its chest. "Engine room secure," Lucy reported. "These things are ugly, but they're not very smart." The hive creatures had another weapon. They could change other living things into more hive creatures. When they touched someone, they could inject them with tiny machines that would take over their body and mind, but this weapon did not work on humans either. The hive machines were designed to work on aliens from peaceful worlds. Human bodies were different. They came from a world so dangerous that they had developed defenses against everything. "Sir, one of the creatures tried to inject me with something," reported Marine Janet Brooks, "but nothing happened." "I feel fine," Ryan Hayes was not surprised. "The hive has never met anything like us before, Janet. Keep fighting." Outside the ships, the space battle continued. The human fleet was outnumbered 50-1, but they were winning. Human weapons cut through hive ships like knives through butter, Captain. Amy Rodriguez watched the tactical display on her bridge. "Weapons officer, status on the command ship?" "We've damaged its main weapons, Captain, but it's still fighting." "That thing has more armor than a small planet," came the reply. Commander Zeph's voice came over the radio from the Villani fleet. "Captain Rodriguez, your ships are amazing. You're destroying hive vessels faster than we thought possible." "Commander, we're just getting started," Amy replied. More hive ships joined the battle. They came from all directions, trying to overwhelm the human fleet with numbers. But the humans had been outnumbered before. It was something they were used to. Commander Nick Torres coordinated the fleet's movements from the UES Defiant. UES Vanguard, cover the Thunderbolt's approach. UES Retribution, target those incoming fighters. The human ships moved like dancers in a deadly ballet. Each ship knew exactly where the others were and what they were doing. This kind of coordination took years of training and combat experience. The hive ships moved well too, but they moved like a machine. They followed patterns and programs. The humans moved like living things, unpredictable and creative. Dr. Kate Williams made another important discovery. "Captain Rodriguez, I've found something. The hive ships are powered by the creatures inside them. If we can disrupt their life support, the ships will die." "How do we do that, Doctor?" Amy asked. "We need to get inside the command ship and attack. It's biological systems from within," Kate said. Amy thought about this. "That sounds like a job for our Marines." Ryan Hayes received the mission briefing while fighting hive creatures in his own ship. "You want us to board the command ship? That thing is the size of a city." "That's exactly what we want, Colonel. Take your best people and show the hive what happens when they mess with humanity," Amy said. Ryan smiled. This was the kind of mission he lived for. "Marines, we're going on a field trip. Pack your heavy weapons." The used Vanguard moved closer to the command ship. The massive hive vessel fired everything it had at the approaching human ship. Energy beams that could destroy mountains hit the Vanguard's shields. "Shields at 20%, reported the ships. "Engineer, get us close enough to launch the boarding pods," Ryan ordered. The Vanguard's boarding pods were different from the hive pods. They were bigger, stronger, and filled with the most dangerous soldiers in the galaxy. When they hit the command ship, they did not just burn through the armor. They exploded through it. Ryan led the first squad into the command ship. What they found inside was like something from a nightmare. The walls were alive, pulsing like a heartbeat. Strange lights moved through tubes in the ceiling. The air smelled like death and metal. "Welcome to the hive," Ryan said to his Marines. "Let's show them what humans can do in close combat." The battle inside the command ship was about to begin. The hive creatures had never faced human Marines in their own territory. They were about to learn why humans were the most feared species in the galaxy. Colonel Ryan Hayes led his Marines deeper into the hive command ship. The corridors were dark and wet. Strange sounds echoed from the walls. It felt like walking inside a giant living creature. "Stay together," Ryan told his squad. These things. No, we're here. The first hive creatures they met were bigger than the ones on the human ships. These were guards designed to protect the command ship. They had thick armor and powerful weapons built into their bodies. Sergeant Pete Morgan fired his heavy rifle at the first guard. The bullets hit its chest but bounced off the thick armor. Sir, normal weapons aren't working on these big ones. Ryan pulled out a special grenade. Then we use the heavy stuff. Fire in the hole. The explosion echoed through the corridor. When the smoke cleared, the hive guard was gone. Only pieces of metal and green liquid remained. That worked, said Marine. Janet Brooks, how many more of those grenades do we have? Enough, Ryan replied. Keep moving. Outside the command ship, the space battle continued. Captain Amy Rodriguez watched her fleet fight against hundreds of hive vessels. The human ships were winning, but they were taking damage. Status report. Amy called out, U.S. Retribution has lost main weapons. UES Intrepid is at half power. UES Defiant reports hull breaches on 3 decks, came the reply. Amy felt worried but not defeated. Human ships were built to take punishment and keep fighting. All ships maintain attack formation. We need to keep the hive busy while our Marines do their job. Commander Zeph's voice came over the radio from the Villani fleet. Captain Rodriguez, our sensors show your Marines are inside the command ship. This is impossible. No one has ever boarded a hive vessel and survived. Commander, you're about to see why humans are different from everyone else. Amy said. Inside the command ship, Ryan's team found the central control chamber. It was huge, with walls that pulsed like a living heart. In the center was a massive brain-like structure connected to thousands of cables and tubes. That must be what controls all the hive ships, said Corporal Lucy Davis. It looks disgusting. Ryan studied the organic computer. Dr. Williams said, if we destroy this, all the hive ships will lose coordination. Plant the charges. The Marines worked quickly, placing explosives around the central brain. But the hive knew what they were doing. More guards poured into the chamber, these ones even bigger and more dangerous. Contact, shouted Pete Morgan. We've got company. The battle in the control chamber was fierce. The hive guards were strong and fast, but the human Marines were stronger and faster. They had been trained since childhood to fight impossible odds. Lucy Davis rolled behind cover as a guard fired energy blasts at her. She popped up and threw a grenade at its feet. The explosion knocked the creature down, and she finished it with her rifle. Charges set, reported Janet Brooks. 30 seconds to detonation. Everyone out, Ryan ordered. Time to leave. The Marines ran through the corridors as fast as they could. Behind them, they could hear more hive creatures giving chase. The creatures were fast, but humans from Earth were faster when they needed to be. They reached their boarding pod just as the explosives went off. The entire command ship shook like it was having a seizure. Lights flickered and went out. Strange screams echoed from the walls. Go, 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 Ryan shouted as his team piled into the pod. The pod launched from the dying command ship just as it began to break apart. Through the pod's window, Ryan could see the massive vessel tearing itself apart from the inside. On the bridge of the used Thunderbolt, Amy Rodriguez watched the command ship die. All ships, the command ship is down. What's the status of the other hive vessels? Captain, they're stopping, reported her tactical officer. The smaller ships are just floating there. They're not moving or firing. Dr. Kate Williams had been right. Without the command ship to coordinate them, the hive vessels became confused and helpless. They drifted in space like broken toys. All ships, finish them off, Amy ordered. Don't let any escape. The human fleet moved through the system, destroying the helpless hive ships one by one. It was not a battle anymore. It was cleanup. Commander Zeph could not believe what he was seeing. Captain Rodriguez, you did it. You actually defeated the Hive Collective. In all our history, no one has ever done this. Commander, this is what humans do. We help our friends and destroy our enemies, Amy replied. The battle for the Villani homeworld lasted 18 hours. When it was over, the space around the planet was filled with debris from destroyed hive ships. The green light that had covered the planet's surface was fading. On the planet below, billions of Villani people emerged from their hiding places. Their world was damaged but not destroyed. They were alive and they were free. Admiral Ben Carter's voice came over the fleet radio. From Earth. Outstanding work, people. You've just won the first victory against the Hive Collective in galactic history. But the victory had cost the humans. 3 ships were badly damaged. Over 200 Marines and sailors were wounded. 37. Would never see Earth again. Captain Sam Johnson of the damaged UES Retribution spoke for all the human crews. Admiral, it was worth it. We saved 3 billion people today. The Villani fleet approached the human ships slowly. Commander Zeph's voice was full of wonder and gratitude. Captain Rodriguez, we do not know how to thank you. You risked everything for people you had never met. Commander, that's what friends do for each other, Amy said. And we're friends now. The Villani sent gifts to the human ships. Art, music, and stories from their culture. They wanted the humans to remember them and their gratitude. Dr. Kate Williams compiled all her research on the Hive Collective. The information would be sent to Earth and shared with the Galactic Council. For the first time, the galaxy would know how to fight the Hive. The Hive will be back, Kate told Captain Rodriguez. They're too big to be stopped by one defeat. Then, we'll be ready for them, Amy said. And next time, we'll have allies who know how to fight. Commander Nick Torres established a monitoring station in the Villani system. Human ships would watch for the Hive's return. The Villani would never be alone again. The news of humanity's victory spread quickly through the galaxy. The species that other aliens called Deathworlders had done the impossible. They had defeated the Hive Collective. A species began to look at humans differently. Before, they had been seen as violent and dangerous. Now they were seen as protectors. The galaxy's last hope against impossible threats, the Galactic Council sent a message to Earth. For the first time, they invited humanity to join as full members. They wanted the Deathworlders on their side. Ryan Hayes and his Marines were given medals for their bravery. But Ryan knew the real reward was seeing the Villani children playing safely in their cities again. Sir, do you think we'll fight the Hive again? Asked Sergeant Pete Morgan. I'm sure we will, Pete, but next time we'll be ready. And we won't be alone, Ryan said. As the human fleet prepared to return to Earth, Commander Zeph sent one final message. Captain Rodriguez, the Villani will never forget what you did for us. We will tell our children and their children about the day the Deathworlders came to save us. Amy smiled as she read the message. All ships, set course for home. Mission accomplished. The human fleet left the Kepler 442 system, but they left behind more than just a monitoring station. They had left behind hope. The galaxy now knew that no matter how dark things became, there were humans ready to fight the darkness. The Hive Collective had ruled through fear for generations, but now the galaxy had something to fear them back. Earth's children were coming and they were not afraid of anything.